Well, hello! It's me, Heckraiser. How the heck are ya? And what the heck are zines? So, when I first heard about them, I called them Zines, but they're short for magazines. It's pronounced zines, not zines. Zines are self-published, non-commercial prints used for creative expression, usually in the context of a mini magazine. But it can come in many forms. It can be really anything. I've seen people use unique origami folds. I've seen people not even use paper. It could just be like a little trinket. And a lot of zines are like digital now as well. A zine can be created by anyone for any context because that's what it's all about. It's about accessibility, it's about self-expression in its rawest form, without the influence of mainstream media, without the influence of capitalism, consumerism, and it's rooted in a lot of anti-establishment culture. A zine is intentionally DIY, and it is popular around communities with inspiring comic book creators, illustrators, photographers, and alternative creative societies. Zines date back to the 1930s. I had no idea they were that ancient. I didn't know they were elderly, but they're making a resurgence and I am absolutely here for it. The very first zine actually comes from this publication called The Comet. It was created by the Science Correspondence Club in 1930, and it was this science fiction fandom. They called them fanzines, a fandom magazine. Fanzines. They were created to network with niche subcultures like this to share ideas and collaborate artistically. There were funny science memes, I guess. With the invention of the copy machine, zines had a huge boom in the 1960s and 70s with the underground press because artists could now, instead of painstakingly drawing out each zine, they could photocopy them, and it also created more accessibility for other forms of media, such as photographers, collage artists. Things just got more and more creative. And of course, this is kind of what I have known them from. The punk movement relied heavily on zines back in the 70s and 80s. They used them to spread the word about music groups, venues, punk shows, and as a way to reject mainstream publication. In the 90s, the feminist punk group Riot Grrrl used zines to spread social conscious messages such as discrimination, gender identity, and sexism. And the rise of third wave feminism and girl culture in the 90s increased interest in the do-it-yourself lifestyle for many women and girls. And sharing these zines created that safe space between these women to talk about their personal experiences without discrimination.
Girl power.
However, with the introduction of the internet in the 90s and early 2000s, these groups would connect with blogs and email and social media groups. So they had that outlet instead. So I wouldn't say that zines disappeared completely, but I just think the growth, there was a bit of a lull during that time because there wasn't that innate need for zines. Zine Fest is a community-driven event hosted by local artists looking to share their publications. These events usually still have those punk roots. A lot of them are like cash only, or they just get rid of capitalism altogether and zines are free, or they're trading zines with other artists. But I think it's a great way for artists to network with each other and host workshops and really just share their message with the public. As for me, I never knew zines existed. I didn't know about them until I actually went to a local artist show that I was vending at and talked to other artists who were making them. After this revelation of discovering something that I've been missing for so long in my life, I went to Reddit. Of course, the subculture social media app. I had been lurking on like the zine Reddit thread for a long time, just kind of checking out people's work and kind of getting the vibe of what everything is. And I finally mustered up the courage to make a post reaching out to fellow Redditors. I'm like, hey guys, can I show you off for this video? I always like to just be respectful and ask for permission from any artist before I post them on the internet. So I went on there and I was not sure what I was expecting, but literally every single one of them is so well done. It's so beautiful. I feel humbled because I don't know if I could ever make anything as awesome as these. So I'm so excited to show you guys what I found. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, so our first zine was created by misterschaak from Do Something Everything. He has a Do Something Everything channel on here. I will link it below in the description. Please check it out. He creates some really cool art on there, and his zine here is exactly what I'm about. I've been preaching about it all year. He's got this collage. It's like a mishmash of photography, street art, typography. I love that like high black and white contrast, and the zine talks about the point in an artist's process where the form finally clicks, when you're no longer making something physical and the humanity just kind of pours out of it. The artistic vision is there, and I'm like, yes, I relate to this so hard. Art is like so extremely important because it does connect us to humanity, and I vibe with this artist and message so heavy. And yeah, just reading this is super inspiring to me. So thank you so much, misterschaak, for sharing your zine with me. Thank you so much. Alright, the next zine is actually from another YouTuber, HunterMoonPress. Check them out below. Gonna link everyone on here. They are a couple who have a small art business together, and they go back and forth making zines. This one is called Magical Everyday Alchemy, and it is so cute. It's a bit of an educational piece on the whimsy, the fairy magic of like making our little potions. When I was a kid, everything was magical. I mixed potions out of weeds and rainwater in the backyard. I carried on long conversations with whistling birds. I was as likely to turn into a fairy as I was to turn 7. Growing up has siphoned my magical thinking away from me, as happens to many. But the world still holds magic, and it does us good to reclaim our whimsy. Let's take a moment to consider the magical everyday alchemy surrounding us. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, they got something about pottery, one of my favorite art forms. We've got fermenting. I'm currently making a ginger bug right now, so this is like right up my alley. Very cute. And composting. Composting is so important. Oh, I love it. I want to have a copy and put it in my like overalls when I'm gardening and remember that fairy magic. Thank you so much. They also have another one. This one's actually free to download on their Ko-fi, linked below. Check them out. You can download their zines for free. But they also have another one called How to Read Without Amazon. And it talks about alternative resources for books. It talks about other ways to read without books, like newspapers, magazines, zines, you know, Tumblr posts, and shampoo bottles. I love that. And it also discusses like society's current issues with censorship, book bans, overconsumption. But yeah, no, this just goes to show that you can make a zine about anything. You can make a zine about your favorite hobby, an obscure memory from your childhood, any type of special knowledge that you want to share with anybody. You can make a zine about it. You know, it doesn't have to be anything specific is what I'm trying to convey. But thank you guys so much for sharing HunterMoonPress. Please check them out. Okay, so this next one is a digital photography zine created by Photoverge. There's this website called hazine.com, and it looks like it's like some type of like flipbook software where you can make your own zine. I think that is super cool. But Photoverge, they are a mega talented photographer. They shared so many with me, but I definitely wanted to like highlight a couple of them. One of them that stood out to me was this zine called Can You Give Me a Second? The title, Can You Give Me a Second, is actually so clever because this zine is about the long exposure photography, and shows photos by the long exposure seconds. And, you know, I think this is good representation for the astigmatism girlies like me, because this is what I see. But no, I absolutely love nighttime photography and city photography, long exposure photography. I think his vibe is immaculate. And my favorites too are these amusement park photos. They have such a whimsical, liminal space essence to them. So, yeah. Thank you so much, Photoverge, for sharing that one. Another one that I wanted to highlight was this one called The Best Photography Advice I Know. And again, the style is vibes on vibes. So I have been struggling with this. So I have been struggling with the making this zine, my last zine of the year. I want to make it retrospective, talk about my favorite photos of the year, what I learned as a photographer. 5 big photography lessons from 2022 or something. Oh, God, I love this. Oh, look at this guy. But when I began reflecting on 2022, this negative feeling came up. I want to call it anxiety, but that doesn't feel quite right. For the entire week, I've been holding onto that feeling, trying to squeeze out any rationale that can be communicated in words. I'm only somewhat successful in this endeavor. Those words are usually a variation of the following. It is too soon to reflect on your learnings. You can't communicate what you learned. You don't know if you actually learned anything. No! Whether or not the words and the feelings are correct, it is 11:31 p.m. the night before the last cameras and coffee meetup at the Grumpy Bean Cafe, and I want to make a zine. So I have a new plan. Rather than communicate what was new to me, I want to share what I already knew to be true. I would like to share the best photography advice I know. An excerpt from the video, The Gift of Gary Busey. Hank. Every single day I get emails from aspiring writers asking my advice on how to become a writer. Here's the only advice I can give. Oh, look at the party vibes. Don't make stuff because you want to make money. It will never make you enough money. And don't make stuff because you want to get famous, because you'll never feel famous enough. Make gifts for people. And work hard on making those gifts in the hope that these people will notice. Sorry, those people. And maybe they'll notice how hard you worked. And maybe they won't. And if they don't notice, I know it's frustrating. Okay, first of all, these photos. Okay. But ultimately, that doesn't change anything, because your responsibility is not to the people you're making the gift for, but to the gift itself. John Green. Thank you for supporting my photography in 2022. Aw, thank you so much. That's so cute. Yes, they also have a Ko-fi. Please support them as well. Check out their gallery. I'm obsessed with their gallery. They've got so many amazing photos. Thank you guys so much for sharing. And this next one is by Jaysimpsonart. This one is called The Product of Decay. It is so punk. It is right up my alley. I love it. They got the photo collage with the teeth and the centipede. Oh, and it's like this horror art. I'm obsessed. I'm just thinking of like Rob Zombie music. You know, just like heavy metal. Yeah. Thank you, Jay, so much for sharing. Please check them out on Instagram. The next one is so fun. This one comes straight from Reddit. He just gave me permission to share his post. So this is Steve, the smartest earthworm ever. And you know me, I like the worms. I like the wormy guys. This is Steve, the smartest worm to ever exist, though that is, of course, a very relative measure. The lovely earthworm, yes, isn't renowned for its smarts, the regular head, and then there's Steve with the massive head, but Steve had something extra, a huge brain, and consequently, a rudimentary sense of self. Oh, I'm repulsive. That's so cute. That's so adorable. Thank you so much, adventurous_habit784. Thank you so much for sharing. This is their Instagram. This is all perfectly normal. Check them out. Thank you. That was like the perfect one to end off with. But yeah, no, I am beyond flabbergasted by the amount of talent I was presented with. I can't thank everyone enough for participating. I am so humbled by everyone's vision and creativity and just like unique style among all of them. But yeah, no, this is what it's all about. But I want to be a part of it. I want to make my own zine, and I'm going to with you guys today. So, am I going to make anything that matches up to this? Probably not. But that's okay. I'm going to do my best. Growing up, I actually loved magazines, and I wanted to be a graphic designer. So, like, if I knew about this when I was 6, I would have made, like, thousands of them. And I probably did, like, make little mini books at some point. But actually, in a past life, I worked for a commercial printing company, and I was a print specialist. So I did make magazines. And I was kind of a graphic designer at one point, too. So that was kind of fun. Yeah. Sometimes my executive dysfunction kicks in, and if I think too hard on a project, I just can't do it. I like freeze up. So I'm not going to think too hard. I'm just going to have fun with it. And something that really intrigued me was the origami style zines. And it like reminded me of one of my favorite childhood games called Cootie Catcher. Have you guys ever done those? I made these like all the time in elementary, and it's a little fortune-telling game where you count letters or numbers out within the catcher to get an outcome, and you just take a square sheet of paper and you fold it over and over until you have this fortune cookie looking guy. And it wouldn't be my art without a little zombie theme in there, so I made a mini choose your own story called Would You Survive? Would you survive a zombie apocalypse? Sorry, my handwriting's trash. Anyway, so you got your first 4 locations here. You've got farm, tower, bunker, and islet. An islet is just a small island. I had to make it an odd number of letters just to make it fair across the board. You'll see why. You know, you'll just choose your ground zero. I'm gonna choose farm. F-A-R-M. Okay, so now you pick your own weapon here. Your zombie weapon. You've got Lucille, ninja star, tennis rackets, or machine gun. I am going to choose ninja star. Okay. So then in here, within the folds, you've got like your fortune within that fold. So it says, oof, brother, you didn't last day 1. The excitement of finally having an excuse to break out your prize ninja stars might have gone to your head. Literally. And then the Lucille one says, you managed to find some allies you can manipulate. As the cult leader, your commune thrives until one jealous Judy poisons you with a sickly sweet tea. If you guys don't get that reference, shame on you. Maybe not the Judy part, but the Lucille part and the cult leader part. Anyway, I'm having so much fun with this. Okay, we'll do one more. Let's do bunker. B-U-N-K-E-R. And then you can do this twice. Sometimes you can do this twice. So I'll pick machine gun, M-A-C-I-N-E. G-U-N. And then we've got nuke, machete, yo-yo, and butter knife. I'm gonna choose butter knife. Let brains spread like butter. Your versatile nature has proven you can fight through anything, while also crafting a mean buttered toast. You live forever with wit at the palm of your hand and a belly full of snacks. It's so cute! And then I also love the yo-yo one. Congratulations! With the help of your pro yo-yo skills, the zombies think you're too cool to eat. You show Grog how to do the brain twister. That's a fun fact. That's a real yo-yo move. Anyway, I kind of ran out of like, those are all I got. I ran out of creative energy when I was writing. I'm not the best writer, but I hope that suffices. But yeah, I made a little zine, and it's cute. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot about zines today. Let me know if you have a zine that you've made. Put it in the comments below. I want to see it all. I'm sure it's better than this guy. So, I had so much fun with you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye!